Hello, everyone. Welcome. Bill here from Pacesetter Planning. Here today to share a really exciting announcement for a pilot program I've been working on for several months now. Finally have it ready to share with you all. We're calling it the Pacesetter Planning Personal Savings Program. Goal of this program is to help you double the amount you're saving every month. Pure and simple as that. And so what I want to do today is talk a little bit about kind of why we're doing this program and why this service is going to be something that we offer from here out. How it's going to work, and then finally kind of the process of signing up at a significant discount to be part of the pilot group for this program. So first and foremost, taking a step back, right? Why are we doing this? Why is this something that we're launching right now? Quite simply, I've taken a step back. I'm starting at a conference I went to last month. Took a look at a lot of the client data I have and the results that people have had over the past several years in working with me. And I've found that about 60% of the value that I typically bring to clients is helping them both increase the amount that they're saving each and every month and helping them figure out what to do with that savings that they're bringing in every month. And 60% is a big number, right? For the record, the remaining 40% is split across a few categories. First and foremost, about 30% of the value I help bring to people is helping to define clarity around the things they want their money to do for them in their life, helping to set financial goals, and certainly to help prioritize right between them where we should be directing your money based on what you want to do. And then finally, the last 10% of what I do for people is the literal selection of the investing in insurance products, right? Most financial advisors kind of lead with that, and that's kind of the primary thing they do for people. I really view it as kind of the least important part. It is important, certainly, but the why behind where your money's going and the actual process of helping you save tends to drive much more of the results, I find. And my core financial planning offer includes all three of those things. But given that I'm finding that the most important thing I can help people do is to dramatically increase the amount they're saving and figuring out what to do with that savings. I wanted to break that off and offer it in a pretty rigorous way on its own. I'm really excited to start rolling that out here over the next month or two. Ultimately though, right, this is not just a personal savings program, right? Increasing your savings like this is how we gain confidence and reduce anxiety about our financial situation and the decisions we're making. This is how we go from buying a house in 6, 7, 8 years to buying a house in 2 to 3 years, right? It's how we go from retiring at age 70 or 75 to age 65, right? This is how I work with a lot of people who aren't particularly thrilled with the work they're doing or feeling burned out and not wanting to do what they do for a living, but being afraid to change careers and do something more fulfilling to them because they don't feel like they can afford to do it if it involves taking a pay cut, right? This sort of savings program and savings approach helps you do that. Ultimately, right, this is about kind of that having the money to buy the memories and experiences that you want in your life. The process here is going to involve things like budgeting and banking and whatnot, but the results are so much more important than that, right? This is about not having regrets at the end of your life and kind of increasing the memories and ability to do things you want to in your life, right? I want you to have those amazing stories to tell, and I want those memories for you, and that's this is the vehicle we're going to use to help you get there. To actually get to that point though, right? The goal of this program is twofold, right? First and foremost, we are going to help you reach what most people call financial freedom or financial independence a lot faster, right? Where financial freedom is really typically most commonly expressed in the stereotypical vision of retirement, right? Where you're able to do whatever you'd like to with your time without worrying where your money is going to come from, right? I actually find that financial freedom is the wrong goal for most people to look at. There's a lot of ways to get to something looking like that with a lot less effort. We're actually going to come back and do a Facebook Live next week to talk through what that looks like. But for now, suffice it to say that this personal savings program is going to help you reach that independence a lot faster. But it's really important to me to have a kind of a quantitative goal to this too, right? And I touched on it a little bit before, right? Simply put, I want you to help you double the amount you're saving every month, right? That will lead to you reducing anxiety and increasing the confidence you have around the state of your finances. This is a program I'm developing and rolling out for the first time now. I modeled it off of in collaboration with a financial planning firm in Australia that's been doing this for a little while now. They have a lot of data to back up that their clients are saving 2 to 3 times as much on this program as the typical Australian, their demographic group. And ultimately, right, this is a pilot program, right? We're going to prove that result to ourselves, but it is something this is a proven model, and I'm very excited to help deliver that to people. So that's what we're doing, right? We're trying to double your savings rate, help you reach financial freedom faster. The timeline for this program, right? We're going to get you set up in the month of December, and we're going to start this savings program for real starting on January 1st. I am not silly enough to try to start you on an aggressive savings program during the holidays, right? I want you to relax, enjoy that time. We'll pick this up in the new year, but we'll get you set up ahead of time so we're ready to hit the ground running January 1st. 3 components to this program, right? First and foremost, you probably have been expecting, if we're talking about increasing your savings, is budgeting, right? And I've discussed my views on traditional budgeting here several times in the past. I'm not going to spend a lot of time rehashing that today, but we're going to spend some time up front developing a realistic budget for you, right? That's without you're not going to be giving up your social life or not having any money to spend on entertainment or anything like that, right? That's not what we're talking about here. I don't care if you go buy the $3 cup of coffee at Starbucks. That's not what we're going to focus on, right? Instead, we're going to focus on making sure that your money is going to the things that are most important to you, right? Both today and in the future, and finding the right balance for that. And then in turn, it'll be my job to help hold you accountable to those best intentions for your money, right? And certainly we'll spend some time helping you identify what you want to be saving for in the first place, right? Saving money for the sake of savings doesn't do anybody too much good. We'll help you get some clarity as to what the specific results you want out of this program as well, before we get started building out your budget. But budgeting is the first component. The second component is actually the one I think is by far the most important, which is banking, right? Absolutely, I have no doubt that this is going to be the most important piece of the program. Based on what I've seen in working with younger individuals and couples over the past couple of years, is most people, the way they set up their bank accounts makes it pretty hard for them to save money on an ongoing basis, right? A lot of steps are involved in it. It's very easy to overspend the way, certainly the banks, set up our credit cards and things like that. They don't, their goal isn't to help us save money, right? Their goal is to help us use their products. And so as a result, right, I have a proven structure, bank account structure that will make it very, very difficult for you to accidentally overspend money. And we're going to spend some time getting that set up based on your specific circumstances, what you want out of the program. We'll get that set up for you first and foremost to make it, again, right, very, very difficult to subconsciously overspend. Right. Budgeting is the first component. Banking is the second component. And the third component is where I think this really starts to shine, which is reporting. There's going to be a pretty detailed set of reports you're going to get throughout this program, because frankly, I think this is where most budgeting tends to fall apart for people, right? It's very hard to keep up with this, monitor your budget, making sure you're staying on track. There's a lot of steps involved there that, quite frankly, are time consuming for a lot of people. And so it doesn't happen. I'm going to take all that on for you, right? So you can spend your time doing other things that are more fun than creating and reviewing your budgets. I have a software platform we'll use to help kind of aggregate your saving and spending data and your income data as well. And we'll use that to produce a pretty dynamic set of reports for you throughout this program. 4 types of reports specifically, right? First and foremost, you will be getting reports and touch points from me every week during this program at the end of every week. The goal behind the weekly reports is not to look at, again, the $3 cup of coffee you spent at Starbucks when you told me you weren't going to do that. That's not what we're going to be doing on a weekly basis. Instead, the weekly reports are really designed to give you feedback real time on anywhere from 4 to 6 types of spending across the different spending categories you would come up with that are problem areas for you. And if you can, quote unquote, hit your numbers in these couple of categories, that you'll be on track to meet your savings targets each and every month. You can kind of think about the weekly reports kind of like the text messages you get from your cell phone provider, right? If you're 10% of your data limit away from being over the limit, right? The weekly reports are designed to give you real-time feedback, just to give you a feel for how you're doing as you progress through the month. So you can make adjustments if you need to based on, like I said, that the areas where you know you're prone to overspend. So we don't need to wait to the end of the month to restart. First type of reports, like I said, is weekly. From there, we'll go to monthly reports. These are really just designed to give you a feel for where you ended the month at in terms of hitting your spending and savings targets. And as we start to get more months into the program, you'll start to see trend lines for that as well. The other really big type of reports we're going to be doing is quarterly, right? I really view these as one of the core components of the program. We'll certainly show you your progress over 3 months, show you, whether you're hitting your targets or not over that amount of time. These are also the reports we're going to meet and discuss. You'll be hearing from me each and every week during this program. We're going to meet quarterly, right, to review your progress, see what's going well, what's not going so well. If you've hit your savings targets, we'll reward you, right? We'll help figure out what we're going to do with that extra money you're saving. If you fell short, we'll use that as an opportunity to start fresh and to restart. And then finally, every year we'll do kind of a big report at the end to show you what the year looked like as a whole. And more importantly, we'll use that opportunity to reset your budget as things change in your life, as they inevitably will. So that's what we're looking at here, right? Banking, budgeting, reporting. If this is something you are interested in, this is what this looks like, right? As far as what I need from you to make this program a success. As I mentioned before, the pilot group is 4 months long. We'll get you set up in December. It really starts January through April to get you through that first reporting cycle, just to give you enough time to test it and see if it's working for you. If you're interested in looking into this a little bit more, first thing I need to do is fill out the application that I have in the link to the video here. It's very quick. Really, it's designed to do 2 things. I want to know why this is something you're interested in. And then finally, I need to know a little bit about what your family structure looks like, whether you're single, married, and have children. Reason being is that I do have a lot of benchmarking data that I have that we're going to use to help give your budgets a reality check and give you a feel for what your peers are doing. And that data is based off of family size, right? Married couples tend to spend more than single couples or single people, for example. So that's why I need to know that up front. Once you fill out that application and we decide to potentially move forward with this, we're going to have, during the month of December, a money management meeting, if you will. And before that meeting, I'm going to ask you to spend 15 to 20 minutes filling out a budget template for yourself. Right? One thing that's really important is that this program is not about me telling you how much you should be spending on different things. Right? It's your life. It's your decision. My role here is really to help you validate that decision and show you the outcomes that you can expect based on what you decide your budget should look like. And certainly I can help prioritize things if you need me to. And then finally, to hold you accountable to the budget you set for yourself. So as a result, I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of pre-work to outline what you think your budget should look like in advance of that meeting we'll have in the month of December. And then finally, once the program actually starts up for real, I need you to take about 5 minutes every week, toward the end of every week, to go through and take a look at some of these uncategorized transactions that are going to fall out of the data that we use. The software in our country to help do this is decent, but not perfect. I'm expecting that most of the time it'll be able to categorize your spending correctly about 80% of the time, using kind of human brain power and common sense. I usually can get that up to about 90% accurate, but I will need your help to go in and review a handful of transactions at the end of every week. Only take you a few minutes. Really, we're primarily talking about things like Venmo transfers and whatnot that the computer isn't necessarily going to know, and I won't be able to figure out on my own. That's what I need ultimately to be a part of this. As far as what it's going to cost to be a part of this program, a little bit of an asterisk here for now. I am still awaiting regulatory approval for the rates that I'm looking at for this. So this might be modified slightly. But ultimately, right, we're going to run this pilot program at a very steep pricing discount, through the end of April for the first 4 months. It's going to cost about a couple $100 up front to get you set up on the program, to have that meeting, to set up your budget, to talk about what we're saving for in the first place, to get your banking structure set up, and to get you hooked up on all the technology that we need. And then for the length of the 4-month program, we're going to be charging about $30 a month. I really wanted to have the pilot version of this program be at a significant discount so you can get in early at a pretty affordable rate. And then certainly, wanted to price it kind of below most of your monthly bills to at least get started on this. If you sign up for this, I would like you to do the 4 months, January to April, right? We need that amount of time to really start to see if it's going to work for you. If you don't want to continue on after April, that is completely fine. This is a 4-month commitment. You can certainly stay on after that. I am expecting we'll probably raise the rates up to whatever the final price is going to be at that point. But ultimately, right, this is I'm envisioning having this be about a 70% discount to be one of the first people as part of this program. I think it's a good deal. Like I said, we're going to be testing some things, and I'm excited to see what your results are going to be going through this program. So if you are interested, this is what the process is going to look like. I've alluded to it a little bit, but you're going to apply using the link on the video. You have a couple weeks to do that. The deadline for applications is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, Wednesday, November 21st. You are not going to hear from me at all Black Friday or even most of Cyber Monday, right? We're going to let you do your thing guilt-free in terms of getting ready for the holidays. I will be in touch probably that Monday evening on Cyber Monday to discuss next steps and what this is going to look like going forward. At that time, we'll set up a money management meeting. Like I said, that's going to be when we establish what your budget's going to look like, get you set up in the technology that we need, and get your banking account structure in place as well. We'll do that kind of from Tuesday, the 27th of November, all the way up to Friday, December 21st. We'll meet during that month, take a break for the holidays, and then finally we'll get started for this, started on this program January 1st. That's what the timeline looks like. Again, we're not going to even remotely try to establish a budget for you and start enforcing it during the holidays, right? Not the right time to do it, but I do want to make sure that we get started right on New Year's Day to hit the year off on the right foot. If you have any questions or would like to discuss this, anything else I haven't covered today, feel free to email me at bill@pacesetterplanning.com. Especially important if your spouse is interested too, right? It's important for this type of program to make sure that everybody's on board before we get started. So please let me know if you have any questions. Hope to see your name in the applicants list. Again, the link is on the video below. And certainly looking forward to talking about this more with you. Next week, I'll be back to kind of talking about this idea of financial freedom I alluded to before, and how that might not be the right goal and what we should be working toward instead. But for now, this is Bill, Pacesetter Planning. Really excited to share the details here with you today about the personal savings program, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks so much. Have a good one.